All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're still doing this. It would have been nice to have already completed a run to just be done with this, but we're still here. Still continuing on with attempts. So, there's a possibility that I finish a run early. That's not guaranteed at all. Very decent chance that I spend the whole stream failing to finish a run under my goal, but if I finish early, I think I want to try out artificer runs. Because, my overall goal, at least recently, has been trying to get a good run for every downpour character. And so, I've been working on Saint. But, I did streams of the other characters, I just didn't get a good run that I was happy with. So, I'll still have to do more artificer runs, more spearmaster runs. And I may want to return to Gourmand and Rivulet to improve those runs, but we're still on Saint for now. So I may move over to one of those other categories. So, and let's just get started with this. Yeah, everything's working well. Oh, hey, I actually remember the creator of the fast roll button mod. They announced an update where the fast roll button thing in the input display would be in the same location every time you started the game instead of resetting, which is a big thing that annoyed me. But now it's automatically down there. It's not quite in the right spot, but it's better than having to move it from the top left corner. I'll move it down here. This doesn't slow down in-game time, but slightly slows down real time. King Vulture laser to appear on the starting screen, Slugcat. If you are familiar with the green screen video of a plane crashing into the camera, I kind of want to have that as my transition into the game. Except maybe instead of a plane crashing, it would be like a vulture. So I could just end the starting screen with Slugcat getting destroyed. I have thought of that. Yeah, making a few mistakes here and there. Remember that most of the time save in this category, it's not going to be a few seconds here and there. It's mainly going to be times in previous runs where I had died or where I had like slowed down for a creature to pass. Because, if I make a few movement mistakes here and there, it's not that big of a deal. But if a creature gets in the way and I have to wait for like a minute for them to pass, that's like a huge time loss. And it's those situations that I'm trying to avoid, of course. I have less control over that compared to movement. So I kind of just have to improve movement and hope that creatures are nice to me. I mean, that's well true. I guess I could try to make that idea into reality by recording like a green screen of the Slugcat alone getting attacked by a Miros bird or Miros Vulture or King Vulture or whatever. And then just overlay that over the background. So that whenever I want, I can just like switch to the Vulture scene at the transition. So the problem now is that the like clouds and stuff that are moving in the background. If I want to just suddenly switch it to a video where, oh great, just like I was being attacked, then I'd have to sync it up with the background. Okay, I'm probably a little distracted talking about this. It's not the fastest I've made it to the gate. About 10 seconds slower than usual. And then after dying to the vulture, after the death screen, instead of fading back into the game, it would fade back into the next scene. That's a fun idea. But also, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing Rain World streams. I think I'll always be doing some amount of Rain World on this channel, but you know, I may not want to focus on it exclusively. So I don't know if I want to like dedicate too much time on Rain World related like starting streams and like stuff that are for the stream. Oh, when that happens, all the orange lizards noticing you at the same time. They freak out like that. I think that was a fast fall. I feel like that sequence could have saved some time. So this is about where the run gets a bit more difficult. Specifically because there's some creatures you have to deal with, some white lizard. There's a white lizard, a caramel lizard, and the geeks are kind of annoying to grab because they can be. Oh great, that was a lag spike. The geek can run away from where I usually try to grab them. There can also be vultures. And scavengers, apparently. I don't know if I've ever seen scavengers in this area. Okay, kind of slow in some ways, but also the yeek was quite easy to grab onto, so not bad. Sometimes I do this thing where I grapple onto the ground and kind of like swing around it. Kind of like a reverse swing from the ceiling. I always do it accidentally. It's quite hard to grapple below you. So you're usually standing up straight. Didn't want to jump another time and go too high. The big ravine? Do you mean the area where there's like that big pit of worm grass. I don't think it's possible. It's quite hard to line up a jump because the terrain is all uneven and like sloped. But I've heard that there's a way to skip or to go through that room, going right to left, which would help for the speedrun. And you do have access to geeks, but it might involve a squid Kata instead. I'm not sure, but I think I would want to look into that if I want to improve the gourmand speedrun. Because my run does not even go there. It just takes an alternate path. I also think that I may have discovered another route. Well, I didn't really discover it. I just saw someone else doing it, but there may be another route through Outer Expanse that I just did not know about when doing runs. It's those kind of things that can be improved. But the main thing that I think could be improved for Gourmand was just doing the run like cleaner and getting luckier with creatures, because I think I do remember creatures slowing me down quite a bit in a few parts. Okay, actually I think I gained most of my time back in that last split. But yeah, if you use Starflight, you definitely be able to get over that gap with a Squid Kata, but I don't know if that would save time, because you would have to spend a long time starving and then being slowed down, or just walking slower because you're starving. Going down through the water is very slow. Yeah. Hopefully I finish a Saint run soon, so I can eventually move on to those other runs. I think most of them are probably going to be easier than... Okay, remember I said that I might save time? I was assuming that I remembered where to go. Also, I didn't think I was going to save time anyway. That's not good. Am I planning on running Inv? No. I never really want to touch that character at all. From what I've heard, the any percent run is like alright, but the story percent run is awful. So I've decided, you know, I'm just not going to touch it. There's other people who are interested in doing that run. I think that the story requirement might require you to go to Pebbles. I have no idea, honestly. But I heard that any percent is easy because there's a few areas that you go through that aren't that changed or aren't that difficult, and then you can just use the egg to skip the Guardians. But then the story run might require you to go through more of the regions that are like changed a lot and actually quite difficult. And it's about 2 hours long. Depends on how optimized that run is. How are the spiders? Actually looking really good. That red spider might move at any moment off screen. Yep, here they are. Okay, I think the run might be over. Just meeting Pebbles. Yeah. Alright, we have an opportunity to improve the beginning though. So I can also start recording. I forgot to do that last time. Got a vulture masking firm jellyfish are OP. That's I mean, I think in like 90% of scenarios, jellyfish aren't really that useful. They kind of just like make things more difficult. But if you're fighting a vulture or a... Okay, it's pretty much just vultures are like way easier to fight with a jellyfish. Because vultures are either very dangerous, and specifically king vultures can kill you very easily, or they run away immediately. You know, if you try to kill a vulture, it just is going to run away after a few spear hits. If you just hit them with a jellyfish, suddenly it's free. Hate rivulet. I mean, I don't know what you mean by parkour, but rivulet actually has some of the easier movement tech. In terms of just timing. If you want to do a slide pounce, you can do it. There's a much wider window where you can do the slide pounce inputs compared to every other slug cat. And then the actual slide bounce sends you a lot further. Yeah, this was really good. Because they only spawn in shoreline. Yeah. I don't want a mushroom. Orange lizard? Nope. Oh, there they are. Maybe I'm a bit ahead of schedule. There's a way you can do this room to go through it a lot faster than that. This one pole kind of messed me up. Okay, that was still better though. About 15 seconds faster than last run. Use Piper and Gormon story percent? You don't actually. And I have looked into it. There's like 10 different ways you can do Gormon's story. And I tested a bunch of them out, and what is Gormon's story? So you start in shaded, you go into industrial chimney up to pebbles, and you can do the thing where you exit out of the game and be returned to the last shelter you stayed in, which would be an industrial. And then from there, you need to get to Outer Expanse. And I died. Not a problem. So in I think the best way to do that is, from what I tested, is to just go to outskirts, drainage system, and then filtration. You're gonna go from filtration up into the upper part of subterranean, and then over to the entrance to Outer Expanse, which a lot of people forgot about. You can go from filtration to Outer Expanse. What's the point of pipe here then? That's what I was wondering. I was thinking, you can enter pipe yard straight from industrial, and it heads down to filtration systems, so it should be faster, but it isn't faster. Maybe I just didn't find the most optimal route, or I just haven't practiced that as much as the filtration route or the drainage route, because that's the route that you practice for the survivor, like public percent and just any percent. So maybe I just haven't practiced pipe yard as much as that other route, but it just was not as fast. And plus, slightly more dangerous because there's a lot of creatures in pipe yard as opposed to drainage, which after the first few rooms, there's pretty much no creatures at all. Yeah, unfortunately, pipe yard is pretty much useless for most speedruns. I think the one run where it may be useful is Gourmand Food Quest, because there's some things you can get there, like a red centipede, but I don't know if that's better than getting the red centipede in Subterranean, for example. Yeah, I haven't been able to grab onto that block recently. Yeah, pipe yard feels really out of the way. And I feel like it's just a little bit too big. Oh gosh, this is not good. Like, it's cool that there's a region that connects to, like, from Sky Islands to Shoreline, for example. You think that it's cool on paper. Goodbye, Yeek. Where did that Yeek go? It always sucks when the Yeeks go all the way over there. But yeah, you think you could go from all the way from Sky Islands to Shoreline, but it's such a big region and there's so many rooms to go through, especially the rooms that like connect to Shoreline. Like that whole area is almost the full length of Shoreline itself. So it ends up just not being any faster than just taking the regular route through the already existing regions. I think that the one thing that may be faster is going from Industrial to Sky Islands. That might be like the one route that's faster than just going up through Chimney. Okay, we're waiting too long here. Saw the spawns on the map and gave up. And also, pipe yard really struggles to have an identity. It really is just an amalgamation of the regions that it connects to. It doesn't ever really feel like a unique place. Like, oh, this is the part that looks like Industrial. This is the part that looks like Sky Islands. This is the part that looks like Filtration. This is the part that looks like Shoreline, right? I think pipe yard would have been better if it was maybe more similar to Industrial, but more like open. Because Industrial is a region that a lot of people like. So just more Industrial would be nice, but there's only a handful of rooms. All the rooms are way too vertical to do anything in, or way too like claustrophobic to do anything in. To find like all those rooms with the tunnels. Of course, that's kind of the point of the region. Pipe yard has a bunch of pipes, but also those rooms are kind of annoying. There are a handful of rooms that do kind of fit that description of being similar to Industrial that I do like, but there's only like there may be even less than Industrial itself, which is surprising considering the size of pipe yard. I don't know why I just doing east slide there. Yeah, one thing that's nice about it is that if you're stuck in Subterranean, you can use pipe yard to get out. That was not great. Then again, the part of Pipeyard that connects to filtration is pretty much just more filtration. So you might still feel a bit stuck. Also, anyone who has joined the stream recently, hello and welcome. I almost did what I was talking about. You know, I kind of have a bad habit of only learning a region for how it's useful in a speedrun. Like, just learn the one, like, fast route through the region and then never go anywhere else. When Downpour came out, I did spend a decent amount of time just exploring around, but then you kind of just want to learn the route, and then you just only go through that area. I get stuck on that block. The region is shaded. You know, shaded is a really interesting region, because some people say that they don't like it because half the region is completely dark and filled with spiders. Or that it's just kind of boring across. There's a route through the top of Shaded that's super safe and a really easy way to get to Shoreline. And it's pretty much always the route that I end up taking. If I want to go to Shoreline, that's the route that I take. But it's also, you know, maybe it is kind of boring. I really like the movement, so I like it, but I don't know if I can say that I like the region if I skip most of it for one, like, really optimized route that I take through it. If I'm not really exploring the rest of the region. So I was thinking about, you know, making a tier list. I think I still want to do that sometime in the future. Maybe after I do all these speedruns. I'll do a stream where we make a tier list, but I don't know if I want to rank things by how much I like them overall or how much I like the one part that I mostly interact with. Because, you know, most of my experience with Shaded is that one route through the top of it that's quite safe and easy, but really, like, fast and convenient. But that skips, like, so many rooms that I can't say that I really know, like, most of the region. Other vultures stuck up there. Or, you know, I could be specific and say, like, that I'm making a tier list specifically for speedruns. And then I can rank everything based on how it interacts with the speedrun. So Pipeyard, would, for example, would be really low on the list because you pretty much never go there in a speedrun. Good morning. It's morning somewhere. You know, doing these speedruns has really changed my opinion on some characters. Assuming that I also want to make a character tier list. Because Gourmand used to be one character that I really disliked. But now they're, like, actually quite up there. So I have better learned how to use their movement and their, like, systems. Of course, the Seek has to just go where I already was. Because Gourmand can be quite frustrating if you aren't familiar with the stamina. But then once you figure it out, you know, I think that it gets a lot better. I actually kind of enjoy playing Gourmand now. Stream mats are still pretty bad. Even after doing the speedrun. Why do you say that they're combat, or that you like Gourmand because of their combat? Because the combat is actually my least favorite part of Gourmand. There are like fun ways to fight creatures, you know, like stomping on them or by sliding into them, or because the spear is so strong. But also, stamina is just a real problem. Where in the middle of a fight, if you just run out of stamina, you pretty much just lose immediately. Or if you fight against multiple creatures at once, you may be able to deal with one creature super easily, but then you're out of stamina, and now you can't deal with any of the other ones. Favorite set of rooms in a speedrun? I really love Chimney Canopy as Rivulet. That is an area where, first of all, there's a lot of open space to do like slide pounces and extended slides and whatever. Mostly at the end of the region, but also before that, there's a ton of wall pounces, which I only recently discovered. And those wall pounces are probably some of the most like interesting bit of movement that I've actually used in a speedrun. People kind of like to make fun of wall pounces for being a pretty useless mechanic, but then Rivulet, or that little section in the Rivulet speedrun, is like, they are in fact actually incredibly useful. Deer assist. Of course, wall pounces are still pretty much exclusively useful for Rivulet, and in a handful of niche scenarios for the other slug cats. For casuals who can take their time. That's true. A lot of scenarios and speedruns aren't great. Anytime a creature is in the way and you have to wait for them, it sucks for a speedrun. But casually, I think that's actually one of the better parts of the game. I think that this game's atmosphere and its immersion really helps scenarios like that when there's some creature that's super dangerous and you just need to like hide from them. Even if you're not really doing anything in terms of actual gameplay and you're just sitting there waiting for them, it feels like you are a prey animal waiting for an opportunity to sneak by this creature that's much more dangerous. You know, this time I won't fall all the way down. It's moments like that that I actually kind of enjoy in this game, but of course, you don't want that in a speedrun. So it's karma to 0 when crossing a gate. That's a unique opinion. Ooh, hold up. This might be the fastest you grab. I proceed to mess up afterwards, of course. Spider zone again. I won't take a risk with the spiders again. There's a red spider down there. It's good to run past now. What's over here? Okay, now that the red spider's gone, I feel pretty safe about this. As long as this guy doesn't... Okay, these guys are actually not very good at killing you. Yeah, and then they went the other way anyway. Not awful, but not great. Ideally, of course, there's no spiders on the way and you just move on by, but that's so unrealistic. So I don't know a way that I still don't know the fastest way to do that room. Because you don't have enough space to do any swings or any big jumps. Oh, clown. This vulture thinks it can catch up with me. Okay, time to die to a centipede or a spider. Just fell down the stairs. That's the centipede. Just jump over them. They almost grabbed me anyway. Goodness. Vulture assist, I considered it. But I didn't, I thought that'd be too inconsistent. Other than the spiders, this was really good. Oh, I know what you're talking about in the depths there. I rarely use a spear for that anymore. You just need a rock, but I can see how you might be able to use wall bounces to make past that. There's also another way you can use wall pounces on the wall. In another area where you would require spears, but I have no idea how to do that type of wall pounce. Where you like kind of just like do something against the wall and you just do a wall pounce. I don't know how to do that, but I have wall pounces turned off right now, so I can't test it off. Okay, well, will there be awful amount of creatures here? Interesting way to do this room. Please. Let's try that again. This guy's kind of being annoying. Okay, how much time will we lose right here? Actually, hold up. The spider moves out of the way. Perfect. As long as something doesn't show up on the other side of this tunnel. Oh, with only a rock, right? You throw boost into the wall to do a wall pounce. Or like into the floor, I think. That was actually really good. Sometimes there's like more spiders or red centipede. I've seen a red centipede there a few times. Recommended though. I think it's what the world record Pebbles percent run does. It uses the wall pounce there so that you don't have to go down to grab another spear. It actually saved a decent amount of time. And at the Pebbles percent run, that's actually, those kind of time saves are what people are looking for. To get world records. Time to die to a red spider. Again. This is going to be risky. I might die here. Okay, we're good. That red spider is definitely capable of catching up with you in these tunnels, but it depends on how motivated they are. Bit of RNG here with the spiders coming up. A lot of spider related RNG in this run. Celeste Core theme. I can see that. Okay, we're good. Sometimes I consider not having splits on for these runs. It can be kind of stressful to see how much time you've saved. Now you kind of have pressure to keep up the pace for the rest of the run. Or if you die, then it's like, oh, I lost a potential like world record run. Or I've never seen a karma lizard there, but that's actually really nice. Thank you. Also, how did they stay in the same shelter? I'm not gonna question it. I mean, you can sleep with a lizard and they won't eat you until you wake up. For these guys to pass. Usually they're pretty bad at turning around, so... Ooh. Yeah, just grab that, thank you. It's nice to know that some creatures just cannot grab you once they've already grabbed something else. Oh, that Mirror's Bird has a centipede. I don't need to worry about them. I could try... Okay. A little bit scary because they can absolutely reach you if you hang too low. Duplicate itself? Oh, so it tried to lineage, but it just became another green lizard in the same den. That's interesting. And I know that like creatures can share the same den, but usually it's like the same type of creature, like a bunch of spiders from one den or a bunch of like cyan lizards, but not two completely different creatures. Kind of reminds me of this one red lizard in Industrial. Sometimes they spawn in and immediately die to the pole plant just outside of their den. That was slightly terrifying. I wanted to go back and grab the gooey duck, but that's too risky. I can find food somewhere else. You know what else is risky? Not risky at all, I mean, totally planned out. Alright. A little bit slow, but I've had a lot worse subterraneans. At least I think I have. Just remember that I pretty much only need to save 5 seconds. I don't have camera scroll. It is not allowed for speedruns. I just as a good rule of thumb, if a mod significantly changes gameplay, it is not allowed. That's just how it is. It kind of surprises me when people ask questions like that. Can I use this mod that obviously gives me an advantage, but I just like it because it makes the game easier and more fun? Like, no, you can't use it. It gives you an advantage. We need to all be playing on the same field, especially console players who don't have access to mods. But also, even if I was allowed to use camera scroll, oh, here's food. I wouldn't, because I just don't like it. This game was clearly designed with the, like, fixed camera in mind. I think it just, you know, I've gotten used to it, and I like the way that it just feels to, like, jump around. Whenever I see videos of people using the camera scroll mod, it kind of makes it feel weird, because I'm just not used to it. But absolutely, feel free to ask any question you want. I have answers. Although sometimes I may want to focus on the run. There are some times where I can like wait a bit to answer a question, but sometimes I need to focus. I think the game would have been better for the scrolling camera. I think that there's things that could have been done to fix the problems with the camera, but overall a fixed camera I think is best. Map icons, you still have to open up the map for that, but I think the main reason people use the camera scroll, I mean, I don't know. I can't know exactly, but the main reason is stuff that kills you from off screen. Right? When you're just moving between a screen transition and then suddenly something kills you that you just could not expect. But I feel like there's other ways to address that problem. Like simply by making the screen or the camera move over sooner would help out. Don't grab me. Okay, we're good. That was a little scary. Like there's other ways to fix that problem. One mod that I actually haven't tested out, but I think it sounds like a good idea, is the one that lets you peek over one screen. You can basically press a button to move the camera over one screen just to see what's over there. I think something like that would be nice, just so you can have a look at what's over there, but so that like the camera still stays fixed most of the time. You know, sometimes the camera transitions aren't a problem at all, where the camera moves over fast enough for you to see what's on the next screen before you actually get there. But most of the time on like vertical transitions, the camera transitions after you've already like entered the next screen, so you're off screen for a little bit before the camera changes, and I think that's like the biggest problem, where there's a moment where you just can't see what's going on. As long as the camera transitions sooner in those situations, it would be better. But also, you know, that can also lead to problems where if the cameras are adjusted, then like the spacing is all messed up for every screen, because every like room is designed with the cameras in mind. So, but just by changing when the cameras adjust, you are changing like the number of cameras needed for some rooms, and that may make some like lead to some inconsistencies. And like having a scrolling camera, that certainly is the easiest way to fix like all those problems, but also it just feels weird to me. Yeah, line of sight is usually annoying. It looks annoying in the mod that does that. It's not, it's just like the like line of sight stuff, like flickering mostly, because it changes so rapidly when you're moving around. It kind of looks disorienting. Okay, that was really good. Yeah, stakes here. Yeah, it also makes sense for co-op. Because you just have less screen space overall. I should just drop down all the way there. So I can fall into the water. It's done really good. Really good pace. Despite sub-training. Usually I lose time here. So everything that happened in sub-training. I die here. I think it's way less likely that that jellyfish in particular is able to grab you. Actually, for the longest time, I thought that they were very bad at grabbing onto you. I'd pretty much never died to big jellyfish except for like one time as Monk. And I attributed that to Monk's bad swimming ability. Like, okay, Monk is just bad at swimming, so they're like especially vulnerable to the jellyfish, but I never died to jellyfish in any other scenario. Until I did a bunch of Saint speedruns and I died multiple times to the big jellyfish in Shoreline. And so I was like, okay, just respect the jellyfish and don't get close to them. But they're still not very good at grabbing onto you. It's just that if they do grab onto you, and especially if they actually talk to you, then the run is pretty much over because you're probably going to drown or get dragged in. Banana has lung cancer. For the Skyland Echo, the very start, is it the thing where you like leave the shelter before it closes, or while it's closing, so that you wake up outside of the shelter? Is that what you're referring to? Yep. Actually, yeah, I know about that, but I totally forgot to use it. I don't even know if it would be useful. That's why I haven't used it. I would have to go and test it out. But I imagine that's room where it helps because you can leave the room a bit early. How do you leave the shelter while it's closing? Basically, you tongue onto the pipe. I think it only works on vertical pipes because you can actually get your tongue up through the tunnel. But you grab onto it and then stand still so you can let the shelter close. Blue lizard. Troll lizard strikes again. And then while the shelter's closing, pull yourself up with your tongue. And it's strong enough to go through the door closing, essentially. Got killed by a blue fruit. Did you grapple onto a blue fruit and then it fell and you fell into a pit? The thing with that trick is that when you wake up, because you can leave the shelter and then it still brings you to the sleep screen. But since you were in a different room, you wake up in the room outside of the shelter, but you wake up in a different location. I forget where it is exactly where you wake up, but it's in some like random location. So sometimes you get stuck in walls. Sometimes you get like sent to like the other side of the room. And that's why it's inconsistent. You know, you may be sent to an area where you get stuck, or that would be slower than just leaving the shelter the normal way. So you kind of have to look into which shelters it would actually help out in fall damage. Alright, Troll Lizard Part 2. Okay, they're not trolling. The redemption arc. That's fine. There's another chance for Blue Lizard to make an appearance. Ceiling damage? Because there is no fall damage in this game. There's just impacts damage. So I just want to do that room real fast. That spider here. Oh, come on. These rooms can definitely be optimized if you memorize the location of all the platforms. So you have to know where you're grappling onto before the screen transitions. I think I've memorized it mostly, but that's mostly just from playing this room a bunch and not really by deliberately practicing that room, which I probably should do more. This run is too good. This is going too good. I'm gonna die again and lose all this time. Or I'll die at the very end of Rubicon. Something's going to happen. You can't just have a perfect run. Maybe Troll Lizard will return. As predicted by the prophecy. Okay, that was weird. There they are. Although not really a problem. Only a minor amount of trolling. Look at how close this tunnel is. See, now that the echo is gone, these Maris birds can roam freely. Yeah, that's why I activate the flight there. Hold throw in directional inputs to perform an ascension. Wow, I didn't know that game. Thanks for the advice. Just kind of bumping into walls all over the place. It's funny about Gourmand. People actually have complaints about Gourmand being unrealistic, as in their abilities aren't explained. They're able to just create stuff out of nowhere. And like breaks immersion or something for a world that's usually like quite realistic. I've heard the theory that Gourmand is actually making it up. They're like telling stories to the other Slugcats in Outer Expanse, and they're just exaggerating. And that's why Gourmand has all sorts of wacky abilities, because they're just making them up in these stories. I don't know how much I like that theory, though. But there's not really a good explanation for how they're able to just create void fluid, because that's what's in the firebug eggs. And create life, yeah. Ignore it. I mean, most of the downpour Slugcats are kind of have crazy abilities. Kill the most modded. Well, they all are technically a mod. All of downpour. I think you know, the Slugcats were the first thing created. And then, you know, a world and campaign and story, all that was just created to fit the Slugcats. You kind of end up with characters with crazy abilities that aren't really explained, like Artificer's explosive stuff, Saint's attention ability, and tongue. I guess Spearmaster and Rivulet make the most sense, because Rivulet is basically just a faster, like more agile Slugcat that also is like more aquatic. And then Spearmaster is just like genetically engineered to be wacky. And like somehow less effective than a regular Slugcat. Don't go in there, go in here. Die to a Mirrorless Vulture. Not do it. Thank you. Just has white fluid in the stomach. That would actually explain a lot of things. Triple affirmative being eaten by Gourmand. I think the bomb is actually more, it makes more sense because, you know, whatever like bacteria or whatever that Artificer was involved with to give them all their explosive abilities. Maybe Gourmand also just ate a bunch of that. And like some rocks just became bombs, like the Artificer is able to do on purpose. There's Leviathan down there. I'm wondering why that happens sometimes. I'm trying to do an EI hop, where you do an extended slide, and then immediately jump afterwards. But if you jump early, then it's pretty much the same inputs as doing a whiplash, which is what sends you backwards It actually slows me down if I accidentally do that. Basically just by messing up the order in which I press the inputs. Yeah, the story percent runs are usually like what's like canon, or what their main story is supposed to be, so I guess they just kind of include assigning the iterators as what Saint is supposed to do. Here's the 3D printer. This is probably one of the more difficult splits, getting to Rubicon. You have to deal with snails and a bunch of subterranean. Oh, you can understand. Oh, okay, mistake. Don't deactivate it too early. So you are backwards. Someone commented on I think the Rivulet speedrun video that kind of suggested that Pebbles was watching an overseer, or like an overseer recorded Rivulet during the speedrun, and then Pebbles watching that recording, like wondering why this slug cat is like running through their facility at top speed just to grab the cell and leave immediately. I'm not happy about two things on the screen right now. At least I have a shield to the scavenger. Yeah, shield. Sometime I'm gonna get grabbed out of the air by one of those kelp. Not going to be a good day. Okay. Not a very big centipede, but I just wanted to be safe. So you have no idea. That's a slightly more dangerous size of centipede. It can be kind of difficult to activate it when in a confined space like that. There are several things I don't like about this scenario. I think I saw a caramel lizard for a second. Yeah, I'm also streaming on Twitch. If you're ever wondering why I'm replying to a message that you don't see. I think most of them have food. Yeah, I don't need to worry. I did need to worry about that. Goodness. Well, it wasn't the kelp. Okay, actually, I guess now is a good time to look into that thing. What happened? The Mirror got me. While I was swinging through that room, a Mirror's bird sniffed right when I passed by them, and I died through it. They were trying to grab the help, I think. But I was just happened to be there exactly when they bit. I guess I need to get food anyway. Such a stupid death. Yeah, probably should have been more careful there. I've died to that exact same way multiple times before. Just not when I was moving that fast. So where am I now? I'm in the wall. So this is why I didn't want to try this out. I'm now stuck here. Can I crawl down? So you can escape. Is that faster than just leaving the shelter normally? Because you want to go here, right? So if you just wait for the shelter to open normally, you just go down here, and that takes like a few seconds. But with that other thing, you get stuck in this wall for a while. Unless there's something that you can do differently. Can I travel 2 rooms? Okay. Let me test that out. So I can leave and then go into that bottom room. I didn't think that I'd have that much time to move around. So I'll try that now. Faster for the chimney echo cycle. I'll also test out going into the room on the left. I probably should have turned on depth tools for this. Whatever. And do you think that there are any other shelters where this may be useful? Assuming that I stay in the exact same shelters that I did in other runs. That's as far as you can go. Oh wow, okay. That is a lot faster. I assume it's faster, because we're already down here. As long as that's consistent. I'm gonna enable DevTools, so I can just do these tests a little bit faster. Spinner stats discovered. I knew about this trick, I just never went and tested it out. So I guess I can test, but it'll only work on shelters that are vertical, because that's the only way you can like grab onto the pipe entrance if they're directly above you. So this may only work in this one shelter. Wake up and have a gate activate. Shaded to industrial. I mean, we never go there. Maybe the one in subterranean. I don't know if that would help at all. And what even would happen if you go into a gate during this glitch? Is it really a glitch? You're just kind of like, I guess it is, because you're not supposed to leave a shelter once it starts closing. Like things on the other side of thin platforms, like the platforms that are like semi-solid that you can fall through, or just like thin like solid walls. I wake up here again too. So I just want to test if I do this like the same way exactly as before. will it place me in the exact same spot? That's what I'm wondering. Thin, solid platform. Okay, so that seems consistent. You always end up right next to that pipe. That's actually nice. I also want to test out going into this other room. I have enough time. The key that I have set to do a fast roll, it's the same as the button that flings you around with DevTools on. So I'm trying to do a roll, but I just forget. It's the muscle memory. I'll turn off DevTools. Just walk over here normally. You're over here. Is that faster though? To move that distance? I'm gonna time it. I can open up another timer here. Make this easier. Go test. I like to use this for timing stuff. So I'm going to get food. I think I have enough food already. I'll start the timer and then enter the shelter. Don't do that again. Okay, about 30 seconds with room for improvement with better movement. So remember 30 seconds. All right, let's try this again. This time I'm just doing it normally. Use it to get one fruit slightly faster. Okay. So there's potential for this to be faster because I did that movement better than the other attempt and they were about the same time. So that is probably worth doing. I know that is also including the time that it took to set that up. So I think I will do that. Assuming that I'm able to get an AI hop on that other platform, it would be a lot faster. Where else do I want to test this out? I'm gonna look at the map for a second to see if there's any other shelters where this may be useful. The next shelter that we stay in is in... Oh, actually, this is another one close to a gate. Okay. Let me just head over there real quick. I don't have the warp menu, so we'll have to do that manually. I also may need to increase my karma level. Actually, we'll just skip the warp menu. Farm raise to subgate, yeah. So you may be able to enter the gate while you are falling asleep. I don't know what would happen if you do that. The game might crash. So we'll test that out. Warp menu is down here. Seeing speedruns, let's get found out live. I mean, I didn't discover it, but we're just seeing if it's useful in the run. I have no idea. It seems like it'd be pretty easy to discover this. If you're just messing around in a shelter and you just like notice that you can pull yourself out, then I just never decided to try that out. Maybe I'll end up on the other side of the gate. I don't know if it would load in the next region, though. That's the main problem. So, what room is this that we're looking for? I don't want to go to drainage system. I don't know why the popcorn's popping. I feel like this would be a really weird thing to patch because it's based on just physics, right? Just how you collide with stuff and how the tongue works. So fixing that might like mess with other physics. But also you could just like close the door. Like once the shelter door closes, make it impossible to go back through the pipe. So actually the first thing that I want to test is going in the other direction. Actually, no, you can't. You just can't grapple onto this at all. I don't think this is possible. Well, okay. I'm gonna test this out anyway, so I'll just do this. But this we won't be able to do this in a run. Also, I didn't even have enough karma. And you are also stuck in the wall. Although you would have access to the other side if you managed to crawl through the wall. And then this doesn't let you through because the next region isn't loaded. So, okay, I need to remember it only works on vertical shelters. So where else do we shelter? Actually, I think this next one will actually be useful. May actually be useful depending on the position. I think I'd find the room here. There we go. I don't think you can get anywhere. That's as far as you can make it. So am I in a useful position here? No, I think this is lower if you're trying to go up, but it would be faster if you're trying to go up or down. But we never want to take the shelter if we're going down. Actually, no, we do. That's exactly what we do. So this would be faster. Because we immediately want to go down to drainage systems. So if we do it here, we'll end up right next to this pipe. Okay, so this is another place to use it. But I don't think it'll be useful if you're trying to go anywhere else. So remember to do this in this shelter. It is useful. Can't use that shelter. So the next one is in Frigid Coast, which I don't think it will work because it is a downwards facing shelter. So you also won't be able to do that. Flashbangs make it so droplets can't see you. That's how flashbangs work. They make it so that anything can't see you. If that creature relies on sight. That's just how flashbangs work. The last shelter that we stay in, I think it actually won't be useful at all because it's facing the wrong direction again. Yep. There is... Okay. Okay. There's another place where technically it might be useful. but it is not a shelter that we normally take. If I can find this room. Rubicon, if that's the abbreviation. I don't stay in a shelter in Rubicon. I just don't. You can make it through the whole thing without sheltering. Okay, you're placed at the bottom of the room again. Which means it slows you down. Yeah, that would be slower. And we don't really take this shelter anyway. No, I don't think this would be useful. So that seems like all the shelters. There's no other shelters that you want to take, and I feel like even if you could make use of this glitch, it wouldn't save time that you would lose by going out of your way for a shelter. You can Guardian skip its flashbangs, you can. That's like one of the other main... I think that might be the first Guardian skip that was discovered. There's not even any vertical shelters in Rubicon. At least early on in the region where it would be useful. So, no. There's a single one. But it's in a pretty small room. I don't think that would be useful. It's actually the same one as the one in Sky Islands that we normally take at the start of the run. So, okay. There are 2 locations where we can use this. Actually, So the one in, let me go back here. If I can remember which room it is. Nope, definitely not that one. This is close enough. So in this room, 6. Okay. When we're in the shelter, right? We stay in the shelter so that we can go down to undergrowth, and in that case, it would be faster. However, after going to undergrowth, we immediately want to go up, and it might actually just lose time to start from the bottom of the room and have to go all the way up. And it's faster to go down than to go up, so you probably would lose time there. So it's better just to take the shelter normally. Go down to undergrowth, because you can fall through these tunnels, so it would be pretty fast. But then you don't have to spend as much time climbing up through the tunnels, which would be slower. Seems like a net loss, yeah. So I think this is only useful in Sky Islands at the very beginning. But it's still cool that it is useful. At least once. And I will have to change these mobs around. Upper or lower central room faster? I don't know what that means. What rooms you're referring to? But I think we are prepared to do another run. More attempts from the Sky Shelter. I think both of them are useful. Or, hold up. Right. I remember now what exactly the problem is. Because we always wake up. We wake up from that shelter multiple times. Once, actually 3 times total, I think. Once when going down to the Skylands Echo, which would save time. Once when at the very beginning it would save time, but then after waking up from after getting the Skylands Echo, we would lose time because we'd have to go up. But then after that, we would save time again because that's where we continued by going down again. Saves time twice, but loses it once, yes. So I guess we would have to test that out in a real run to find out. But it sounds like it would save time because actually, once again, going down is faster than going up. So, you know, falling down that room is pretty fast, but then climbing all the way back up that room, it would be slower. But also, it just saves time overall by not having to leave the shelter room and skipping the shelter opening animation. Can you go down that room twice as fast as up? I think that's worth trying out because it at least saves time from not having to leave the shelter room, you know. So I will use it in a run by going down. Waiting too long. That is annoying sometimes. RNG means you have to wait there for way too long. Now? Now. No. Popcorn RNG, the defining factor. How a run is going to go. Okay, it doesn't want to again. This doesn't really matter. But I'd rather have a run with good popcorn RNG, right? And you only lose like 30 seconds by trying to restart. Plant plus microwave popcorn. It's kind of the opposite. It pops because it's really cold. It's just random when the popcorn plant opens how long it takes. So it just was way faster right then. Except I proceed to lose time there. So let's see how much time I save on this split, since it's only the time saved, not counting the loss from going up. $18 seconds, which actually isn't that too much faster. Only about 6 seconds faster than my last best split. And now we have to go up. But that didn't really take that long to go up that room. And then we're already here. So I'm gonna say that it is worth it. Oh wow, you just make that jump. Almost bad. Hello? It was going really well until that moment. We are still ahead of schedule, so this is definitely worth doing. I think that Spears and Rocks pretty much give exactly the same throw boost as Saint. Even though Spear throws don't do anything, they still give you the same amount of speed. Orange Scissors barely have time to wake up. That room has become one of my favorite rooms to do a Saint. The way you can just weave through all the platforms. You always swing way too fast there. White lizard check. No, we got the other lizard. Would have been cool if you just grabbed the centipede, or if you just left in general. Oh. Good Good geek luck for once. And then he proceeds to jump straight into the... Oh, come on. Okay, well, there goes all the time saved from getting the geek quickly. It's because that caramel lizard was in the way the whole time. Your check. Yeah, that didn't really help that much. Excuse me. A very rude centipede pulling me back into that other room. If that room was the centipede's den, then I would have died instantly. So that's kind of a demonstration of how they can pull you through rooms unintentionally in the middle of a speedrun. That popcorn popped for some reason. Deer saw me and immediately said, nope. I'm going the other way. Okay, I don't know why I did that. You're supposed to do a backflip if you want to get enough heights to the ceiling. I don't know if you'll take fall damage from that height. Fun fact, this echo is smaller than most other echoes. I think I lost most of that time from the caramel lizard. He's coming over this way. Okay, well, it's just unfortunate. One came up, so that's okay then. Not great, but could have been worse. Okay, gotta slow down there. Spider check. Coming up. I always flip upside down going through that for some reason. Okay, both red spiders are right there. I got sniped. The geek did. Not a problem. I'm going to go down. I should be able to sneak past them. Okay, they're going to move over now. Please drop. It's not worth it. Well, okay. I guess it wasn't too bad because I got past the other spiders pretty fast. I'm surprised I didn't die. Maybe they grabbed the geek. Geek is still alive. Oh yeah, I'll just like run past this one. Although it seemed like it wasn't really going to move. Good luck. Thanks. Yeah, I really need luck for this run. Although, if anyone's interested in speedrunning this game, you don't need luck to speedrun. You just need it if you have really high expectations for yourself. You're just like, oh yeah, let's try. I'm gonna try a speedrun. Then you can just go for it. You know, they're just rubber. They're basically invincible. They aren't actually. They drown pretty easily. You're interested in speedrunning this game? What a surprise. It just happens that whenever I try to do speedruns, I have a crazy goal, and it ends up taking many attempts to achieve that goal, and crazy luck. Probably the best thing to do in that room is just to fall to your death. So at first I try a category and I'm like, okay, getting the world record wouldn't be that bad. And then I get close to like a minute barrier and I'm like, I want to see if I can get a time under that. Like with Rivulet, I had a world record run for a long time that I never submitted because I thought that a sub 30-minute run would be possible, and I spent like hundreds of attempts trying to get that run. But hopefully, I guess partially some of the reason that I do these speedruns is a cooler looking run might inspire more people to try out speedrunning. A lot of people are immediately uninterested in speedrunning this game because it's just difficult and there's RNG. But if there's also like cool movement, you know, maybe that's enough for people to be convinced. But a lot of random speedruns don't have great movement. This Karma is being annoying. There's some like incredibly optimized runs like Pebble percent and any percent for Survivor. And you see those runs and you're like, okay, the movement in this game is insane. But then some downboard characters, you know, they haven't been optimized to that degree. As for characters like Rivulet and Saint, I think that their movement is crazy and that people should be able to see what they're capable of. So I'm pretty much trying to get every single downpour run to that level. And maybe even also improving the river run. Or needs more runners. Hello, spider. Yep, come into this room, please. Okay, goodbye, lantern. I didn't need you anyway. Actually, I did kind of want that lantern. It makes dealing with the spiders in the next area a lot easier. At least I think it does. I haven't done it without the lantern, so we'll have to see. Well, okay, the problem with a mod like that is that it gives you an advantage. Unless it was timed so that it, like... The thing is that the way that challenges are timed right now, it uses real time. So the time that it takes to switch to the next challenge is counted in the speedrun. So that would give you an advantage. This room is so dark, I never realized. Although, you know, I guess that can be an update instead. So just go yell at the devs and say, hey, make the challenges more easy to navigate. That's actually a problem that I have that isn't even just for speedruns. Or just for people who are playing the challenges casually, I find that they sometimes struggle to navigate to the next challenge because you don't automatically select to the next challenge, and then you have to go press the play button on the other side of the screen. If you're on a controller, you have to navigate all the way across the menu. Okay, I got lucky here. I've noticed that in this room, you know, spiders can get in your way. But sometimes the spiders come into this room and then you enter it and there's no spiders. That only happens sometimes. I think it might be like the echo loading in, so the creatures just get erased. But then if the spiders enter the room after the echo is loaded in, then they aren't like accounted for. Just a bit of a theory. So if you think that there's going to be spiders that will like climb into that room that would normally get in your way, then it might help to like stay back for a bit. To not load in the echo or whatever is happening. Also time to die to a centipede. Okay, it's a small centipede. It sucks that centipedes are random. Sometimes they can be massive and they get in your way and they're awful. Or they can be tiny and they barely exist. Don't stab me. Thank you. And I don't think any other creatures have like size variation like centipedes. Don't do it. Okay. Hidden and deepness are the same thing. Well, you don't have a sword in Rain World, so shaded is a bit worse. Or, yeah, shaded. Don't mind me, I'll just be up here, unless that was them running away. I think they are going in this direction. Slightly terrifying. Nail, not sword. Yeah, sure. Very distinct objects with completely different purposes. Use cases. They're not just exactly the same thing at a different scale. I'm thinking about playing Hollow Knight on the stream sometime. I've already played the game quite a bit, so it wouldn't be a blind run through the game, but it would be this sucks. Okay, fellow scavenger. Anything could be in this room. Oh, okay, it's actually not that bad. Okay, I could have done that better. But I do have a lot of things to say about Hollow Knight. Not always nice things. So I lost a lot of time there, unfortunately. But hopefully, it's time that it's less time lost than time saved that I'll get later. Because remember, I was like 2 minutes ahead. I think it could have been about 2 minutes ahead on the last run that I did. Nails are more of a stick with a triangle, while swords are 2 sticks and a rectangle with a triangle. Thank you for those descriptions. Yeah, they are different. A little bit. What I'm trying to say is that in Deep Nest, you have a weapon. But not in Rain World. You have spears that are like slightly effective. But not very effective against spiders. Especially coral escapedes. Although I found that a strategy that does work pretty well against coral escapedes is just spamming rocks. And you'll probably get most of them. Hello. Welcome to the stream. This was a good run until Subterranean. I'm probably going to lose quite a lot of time on the next, but if I don't die to snails, that is. Maybe I should add a split for like entering shoreline so I can see how much subtraining contributed to the time loss. Usually I get to Looks of the Moon, I get to that echo, and it's like minus like 30 seconds, even if I did shoreline perfectly. Flashbangs don't insta-kill spitters. I learned that in a speedrun. I don't remember what speedrun it was, either Gourmand or Saint, where I tried to flashbang a spitter spider and then proceeded to die to that spitter spider. Oh, I forgot to throw a boost. And I don't like how well that jellyfish is tracking my movement. We're good. Don't play End. They're not real. End is all in your head. Wake up. There is no dating sim in Rain World. I think Inv is a perfect representation of the difference between the Rain World community and the game itself. Except, I guess you can't really say that now because Inv is part of the game. So maybe it just justifies that part of the community. Always try to regrab. Oh, you are leaving. Poor Moon gets immediately abandoned and then ascended. Yeah, bad time for gravity to turn back to normal. He really wanted to be low gravity for this room. Look at this. Look how small this room looks. And then it's like 3 times as tall once you actually enter it. What is up with that? Yeah, you can just fall down in that room. Okay, actually, I didn't lose as much time as I thought I would. We're still ahead. Let's ultra check. Yes. Hello? Do you want to learn how to swim? Don't want that spider getting in the way. Yeah, that spider's always in the exact same spot. Alright, do we get Troll Lizard? Yep, immediately. Oh yeah, go back into that tunnel. I did say Troll Lizard. That's what you should expect. Troll Lizard part 2, or maybe like part 5. Okay, maybe it's Troll Scavenger this time. I like it if they didn't go that way. I don't know if they're going to be aggressive or not. Okay, we're good. Actually, one of the few areas where scavengers are actually a problem. Okay, I risked it. We're safe from this point on. I want to hold up to like grapple upwards, but then you might grab onto the poles. That was close, yeah. You never know with Murals birds. They don't usually like to switch directions, but sometimes they do. They're very quick about it. Also, I think there's usually spiders, or there's sometimes spiders there, but I think that might confirm my theory with the echoes. So you would think that if there's spiders in that room, that you would also have a chance of encountering spiders in this room, but you don't. But maybe once you've gotten far enough, the echo loads in, and any spiders that would be in this area, I don't know. something, it wouldn't be possible for a spider to be in the middle room. They either make it or they don't. I don't know if that's good reasoning. I almost did that again. So that was either the blue lizard or the... No, the Mira's vulture probably. I think that was before... Three flavor. Obviously, it's the triple affirmative, right? The portable. Actually, that doesn't make sense at all for flavors. But you get the idea, right? This the solution exists. The solution is portable, and the solution is easily applicable. Something like that, right? Just translate those concepts into flavors. Pro Lizard part tart like 7? I don't even know what it is at this point. If you actually go too fast there, you won't get Okay, I tried to do something there, but it did not work out at all. It's fine though. You know, a mistake where you don't go as fast as you're supposed to, it's a lot better than a mistake where you go backwards for a bit. Or where you stop moving completely. Spider check. Like movement check. Goodness. Here's the troll lizard. I haven't seen them there though. Where did they come from? Yeah, got my time back. Now that the troll lizard is dead, the series is over. Not just dead, ascended. He'll never come back. Imagine if ascending creatures deleted a creature permanently from your save file. That would either make speedruns a lot easier because you just go around ascending everything that's on the route. Or you would have to like reset your save file every time you want to do an attempt so that it's fair. So the 5 Pepsi itself is the triple affirmative, and the flavors are just on top of that. Yeah, today we didn't need to do that. But it would be annoying to get another bubble fruit. Miros Vulture check. No Miros Vultures. Okay, just kidding. He's out of the way. Got the fruit. I can just press space again. Dude, actually, I usually eat the fruit before even like, or like right when I pick it up, I eat the fruit. I don't know why I brought it that far. Okay. Don't die to jellyfish again. I think the way that I get past the jellyfish now, I just usually didn't really respect them at all. So when I was like flying through the water, I just kind of went right next to the jellyfish, just out of their range. But now I usually go way underneath them. This. And I never really tested out in these rooms exactly when you should use your ability. No. Go over. Yeah, I'm good. I just got grabbed by the jellyfish and got scared. He could have shocked me. I don't know. Actually, I have no idea how big jellyfish work. So I'm not actually very good at like shocking you once they've grabbed onto you, but sometimes they do, and I never know when to expect it. Oh yeah, rip to that jellyfish. Okay, I've done this room faster. Oh, the first time you enter this room, there's a lag spike because it's loading in the echo song, maybe. But then the second time, it doesn't need to load in a song, so it doesn't lag. Or I could just disable music entirely to save a bit of time on lag. Sometimes she tries to run away, and you can see how much time I saved there by not dying to the jellyfish. Just need to be careful on my way to Rubicon. And don't get absolutely destroyed by a Mirror's bird. Unless they don't need to worry about snails in that little area in particular. Don't cancel it too early here. I actually don't know if this room is faster with the jetfish. If you go along the bottom and the underwater route. I don't know if that's faster than going up top. Thank you for that. You always think, like, wow, I've gone to this part of the run a few times today. Surely it's not that difficult to make it all the way to the end. But then, you know, of course, something has to happen. It only takes one mistake over the course of an entire hour to mess up the whole run. There's no centipede or scavenger here, so that's an improvement already. Just get lucky? Yeah. I mean, you did say good luck, so that's pretty much guaranteed. Okay. Yeah, ignore what I just said. Scavenger. That's scavenger. Correction. What's that mean? This is where there's chaos. Not quite. I'd like to grab one of these though. Yeah, this is where I died last time. To a Mirror's bird. Okay, I see the drop bug already, so that's a good sign. I think there's a drop bug here just to troll you. Also, I'm gonna throw this out over here. Should have been crouching. There's like barely any drop bugs throughout the rest of the Saints campaign, except in this one room. There's one just to troll you. I don't know if that's a spitter spider or not, but I'd rather Did not exist. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Things are going pretty well, but Rubicon. Rubicon is Rubicon, so yeah, we have no idea really. There's already a mole lizard in the way. Decided not to be in the way, thank you. Nice extended slide. You can tell that's what I was trying to do. Hello? That's a scam. Yeah, that also hit the centipede. The centipede exists for Survivor in this area too. You didn't know. Scavengers. Do you wanna move, dude? Okay, a bit of slowdown, but I think it's still going well. Usually I don't do this, but I think this is a long enough tunnel for it to be worth it. I don't need to save the meter for anything. Also, I have no idea why I have just a minute time save. I don't know what happened on the last run that these splits are from, but I lost like a full minute before Rubicon. Something happened in Subterranean. So there's one room in Rubicon that I probably should have looked at before the stream. There's one room that's filled with red creatures, and it's awful. And it's also filled with screen transitions that you can't see anything. So there's a very good chance that I enter the next screen and there's a red lizard right there to kill me. I should have looked at another way to do that room that might be safer. Also, there could be a cyan lizard right here, in my experience. Or probably anything right there. There's going to be a red lizard over here. Or a red spider. Okay, well I'm just gonna have to sit here for a bit. But that occupies the red lizard, so I'm fine with it. There's still more red lizards and a red centipede. So. Also a chance that this red lizard just doesn't like me anyway. I said a chance, not a guaranteed, man. Come on. So I'm not gonna risk it, and we're just gonna ascend him. No red centipede yet. There they are. This is the room that I'm talking about. Like, what's in the next screen? I have no idea. There's a red centipede. I don't know why I decided to check the map midair. I think that took out both of them. I like that the ability has a bit of an AoE. And also, you have to, or the path that I go, okay, not doing this. The path that I'd go means that you have to basically move over to the other side of the screen. So maybe if you like go up the room on the right side, then you don't need to, it'd be safer and you don't need to walk this way. Can you befriend them? I have never tried taming something in Rubicon, so I have no idea. There's firebugs, although they're kind of a pain to work around, so I imagine they'd be easy to tame stuff with. Also, there's a faster way to do this room that I immediately forgot about, so. Okay, good cycle time. You can actually not have enough cycle time in Rubicon. But I've gotten close on a few occasions. Okay, no Mirrorless Vulture, although that can change whenever. Negative 50 reputation initially. That's interesting. I didn't want to fall down here. Maybe I can stay out of line of sight of the red lizard. This is usually where Mirrorless Vulture shows up. It's a lot of fun. Especially since I'm at the top of the screen the whole time. I thought I'd go this way. I think it's less scary than the other side of Rubicon. All right. Other than the Mirrorless Vultures. I could do one more attempt. I don't know if it would have been better if I just continued going forward instead of like hanging back. But they're very... but I don't know, between the left and right sides of Rubicon, the right side feels more dangerous and, depending on RNG, slower. I think that like a super ideal run, going left or right, or yeah, left side would be faster. But that never happens. Usually the red lizards, oops. Forgot to do something. The red lizards slow you down, or the Mirrorless Vultures, Mirrorless Birds slow you down, or the orange lizards, all of those can get in the way. Whereas for the right side, I keep messing that up. For the right side, it's just once you get past the Mirrorless Vultures, there's like nothing that's dangerous to you at all. Which means that was like one of the last rooms that I could have died to, unfortunately. So, eat these first. I just kind of feel, I mean, I've done enough runs with the going right side that I just feel more comfortable with it anyway. And I don't think it's too much slower. I just really hate, first of all, the room with the Mirrorless Birds sucks. And the room with the orange lizards also sucks if they fill up the tunnels. You can either just run past and like do that room quite quickly, or you have to spend like a minute just clearing out all the orange lizards that fill up the tunnels. And then you have to push them out of the way. It's just a huge pain. That's way too RNG. Right side has like some snails that you have to worry about, and that's it. I feel like consistency is more important once you're at the very end of the run. Of course, Rubicon still is not consistent. Apparently this part isn't either. Skies is harder than Rubicon. Definitely not. I probably died a similar amount of times in both regions, but that's just because Skylands is at the very beginning of the run. And specifically for Saint Spirits, obviously. I've been in Skylands many times outside of Saint, where I didn't even have access to Rubicon. But I've actually lost a decent amount of runs in Rubicon, unfortunately. Lost 8 seconds to popcorn RNG. That's really cool. Would they not be eaten automatically? They might. I haven't tested out, but that actually makes sense. Well, I either got past him or the run ended. Maybe Skylands is harder. So, okay, I'll remember not to eat the extra popcorn. Good RNG. I'm starving. Can I continue? Wait, what happens? I don't save. I guess I was thinking that might happen because maybe it's like what happens inside of a shelter that makes you eat food automatically and not just like falling asleep. So you have to be inside a shelter for it to work. Subterranean. Oh yeah, Subterranean sucks in this run too. So yeah, I'm just back here with lower karma. Okay, I think that just undid the echo. Okay, so don't do that. Or maybe I can eat the, well, I feel like that'd be too risky. I'll just eat them immediately. Now. Yeah, if you made a mistake like that, you wouldn't have enough time to eat the popcorn plant. Ah, don't go in there. Slippery floor. I was gonna say it's because it's you're a slug cat, but Saint is fluffy. They shouldn't be as slippery. Although, you know, sometimes it doesn't work like that. How have the runs been? I made it to Rubicon, and I died to a Mirror's Vulture. In pretty much the last room where I could have died in. Not exactly. I could have died at any other point. But that was like the last dangerous room where a Mirror's Vulture could have shown up. Yeah, I did that well. Okay. Was it on pace? Yeah, it was like 2 minutes ahead. By the way, if you do an AI hop, you can hold down the grab button to bunny hop, and you won't tongue anything. As long as you're holding grab, you can't grapple. Whether you grapple or not doesn't really affect the AI hop, or not really the AI hop, but the bunny hopping afterwards. It doesn't really affect it unless you're in a tunnel where you would grapple onto the ceiling. So that's when you would want to use that. But once you get the ascension ability, doing that would instead activate your flight and mess it up, so you can't do it after that point. That was close. Work with regular grapple? I have no idea. You should remember to hold down when waking up. because you're right there at the pipe. That's it. It's a real convenient spot to wake up in. These center wings are always in the way somehow. Basically just big walls. Okay. That's definitely not how it works. The way that you spawn in after waking up, it's like seems to depend on the location of the shelter that you stayed in relative to its like position in the room. Hello, can I just grab you? Sometimes you wake up inside a wall or like on the other side of the room. It's like quite random, but I think it depends on the shelter location. So it probably just makes you wake up in the same coordinates as the shelter. But if you're in a different room, those coordinates might not line up with something that where you can actually like, you know, those coordinates might be inside a wall, for example. Or it could just happen to be in exactly the right spot that you want it to be. But it's very situational. And plus that trick only works in vertical shelters anyway. Because that's the only place you can grapple onto the right spot. Zero, zero. I don't know how the game's coordinate space works. But I feel like that would... I feel like you're always in such a random location. And the shelters are always like varied in different positions on the screen. Unless 0, 0 is also in random positions across the screen. But I think that'd be a really weird way to set it up. I think 0, 0 is the top left of the screen. Although, I actually don't know. Bottom left. That's how it works in Unity. Yeah, but also Rain World is a very unique game, so it's kind of hard to just say like, oh, this is how it works in Unity, so every Unity game works like that, because Rain World does a lot of unique things. Nice backflip, dude. I like how the screen goes dark right before I go through the screen transition. I think I'm just falling into the void. Also, that's the first time in a while where I didn't lose time on the subterranean split. Also, I still have no idea where the best place to grab a yeek is, because those guys are way out of the way, and those other guys seem to be in random locations. These guys are kind of annoying to get out of this little area. That can happen. Ideally, one just jumps up onto the area above these tunnels, but that doesn't always happen, of course. Grappling worries are extinct. Yeah, I mean... You already have the grapple, so you don't need one. But also, I guess it might be weird if you use a grapple worm as Saint because you, like, already have a grapple. Okay, this is just about worst case scenario. Every single spider is in this little tunnel up here. Exactly where I need to go. Saint as monk run. Right, I mean, if you had a grapple worm, you'd essentially just become Saint. Okay, as long as this spider moves out of the way, I can go. Then again, like, a time loss here with the spiders is pretty much expected all the time, so is it really a time loss? Okay, I somehow grappled to the ground there, slowing myself down. Intense ladder building. Yeah, Silent Construct and Undergrowth are very much designed to be with Saint in mind. So those are the only areas where it's suddenly difficult to play as another character. That's expected to happen in early Atomos? Yes, they are. Because it's possible to not die. I suppose it's also possible to... Oh, come on. Okay, that actually worked out. It's also possible for there to not be spiders in that room, so that's not always the case. Oh, and there's another even bigger centipede here. Thank you. That went about just as well as it could have. You saw when I went past that pain cone? It flashed white for a second. That's because you can pick it up. It's actually one of my favorite ways to deal with those things. You just pick them up and throw them away before they can explode. But in reality, deaths, you know, they are expected in some runs. So if you do speed up Saint and you die a few times, you know, that's like not really that big of a deal. It's just that once you start going for a much better time, it becomes a problem where you want to avoid death. Undergrowth Echo is optional. So you went to Submerged Superstructure instead, and that's easier. So now it's time to lose time in Subterranean. As expected, so it isn't a time loss. To disarm the paint cones. I haven't heard of that. I know that Spore Pups disarm them, but... Or disbug them. I didn't know if there's a way that just by holding them. Just shaping beats. I don't know what that has to do with Rain World. Oh, what was that? Scavenger? Yeah. So, you know, pick your time loss in this area. So I picked mole lizard and large centipede with a side of scavengers and spiders. Rain World is just shapes, sure. And there are pretty good beats too, so I guess it checks out. But it's not just. I guess that's the problem, right? There's a lot more than that. You can do the exploit there, but the problem is it places you at the bottom of the room. So going to undergrowth, it's faster, but going up to... going back up is slower. So I don't think it's worth it. And it's pretty fast to fall down that room anyway. So hopefully that time loss isn't that big of a deal. I think it was maybe about like 20 seconds, which is like not bad considering that I could save like 2 minutes later in the run. So just like 20 seconds here, not that big of a deal. As long as undergrowth goes alright. I'd like to pick up a rock at some point. Here's one. Okay, good timing for that or the spider to go back through that pipe. Oh wow, I managed to actually save time. You didn't even know that I died. Lantern New Game Plus, it is. I assume that you're referring to being able to keep items from like the previous run. It saves a insignificant amount of time because there's pretty much a lantern like right in this first room anyway, so you can just pick that up and it saves a little bit of time, I think. But I don't think it's worth doing an entire... If you want to do Saint speedruns, it's not worth doing an entire run just to get a lantern in your stomach. Although if you played Saint casually, you probably have a lantern in your stomach already. But it is allowed because it'd be kind of annoying to reset your save file just to get rid of the thing in your stomach. And it can also lead to some interesting routing possibilities by bringing certain items, but I don't think anything else is actually faster than the lantern. Just the default option. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for these guys. Not to bring a fire egg. I don't know how that would help you. I can just get through here quickly. I had a feeling I might die in that scenario, just like last time. Didn't even know solid lanterns provided a key. A lot of people don't know that. Okay, I don't know how I'm alive. But I see 3 problems on the screen right now. And 4 if you're a mean person. Lantern, you're my sacrifice. I like the game like slowed down just to emphasize that moment. It was like a flurry rush. Barely dodging that. I'm somehow still alive, but honestly, this is like still like a decent start. Or not decent start, a decent run. No like major time losses, honestly. Sometimes the mirror birds stick around for way too long, or there's like a centipede in a tunnel, or a centipede in general. Okay, I thought that he might still be grabbed onto me. This just keeps getting worse. That was very lucky. But a lot of little time losses add up, so maybe this still isn't great. We're still going though. Three problems turned into 0 problems, where it also was the other way around. 3 problems very suddenly appeared. Also, can you even like swallow a fire egg in the first place? I don't know if you can do that to food items, because you're either able to just eat it normally, or you're not able to eat it at all, or swallow it. The only other item that is like slightly useful is a bubble weed, and that way you can go through some underwater sections and early on in the run. But I actually think that's slower than just using a yeek. Although I haven't really tested it out. But the underwater area can be kind of annoying sometimes. I usually don't like the jetfish here, so I'm not going to pick it up. I don't know why I said that. Sometimes the jetfish moves to the right side of this room and they become a real problem. I'll pick out the snails. Snail check. I see 3 of them. I think I can get past them though. There's the 4th one too. We're good though. I think I've gotten better at seeing the snails when they're underwater. but it's consistent. I suppose, okay, there are some slight problems with the geeks. Mostly just trying to get them in the first place, but I don't think there's any other like major problems. If as long as you use faster rolls to do roll pounces, then you're not going to die at the worm grass. But yeah, getting the eek in the first place can be annoying. If there's a karma lizard there, or a white lizard, or vultures, or the eeks are just like far away on the left side of the screen. But I just kind of like using the eek anyways, so I'm sticking with it. Grab me. Okay, that was kind of scary. Didn't shock me though. Brings a hazer or something. I don't know how that'd be useful. Just not really many situations where you want to use some other item. And keeping your lantern in your stomach, I mean, it's not necessary, I don't think, but it's kind of nice. I use the lantern in filtration system and in undergrowth. Once again, not necessary, but it's nice. It also makes it easier to deal with spiders. Probably do lose a little bit of time taking the lantern out of my stomach. But I also probably save a little bit of time by actually being able to see where I'm going. And maybe the spiders are a bit less likely to attack me. Also, I didn't do this very fast. Something about hazers with wormgrass. I just discovered a glitch. Oh, no worries. Pretty bad gravity cycle here. I never really liked this room. Just the pull at the bottom that you might accidentally grab onto is real annoying. I managed to pick up that rock again. About 14 seconds. Just kind of remember that it's really unreasonable to expect a run will have no time loss at all. Or like perfect creature RNG. I mean, creatures are too complex to create a simple probability for, but I suppose if you did enough runs, you could figure out exactly how likely it is to run into like some sort of problem creature. Like what chance for spiders to show up in the room in farm rays, what chance of a scavenger showing up in Subterranean, or a karma lizard, or the red centipede, you know. And if you get like perfectly lucky and none of those creatures show up, you know, that's like what would have to happen to get a perfect run with no time loss at all. So you can never really get a perfect run. You can't say that like, oh, this was a bad run because these creatures in this area slowed me down. That's unrealistic. It's a good run because, yeah, there may be creatures in some areas that were annoying, but I got past them and I had like decent movement made up for it. In some categories, though, you can expect to get a run with no creatures at all, like Revisit Story Percent. Like, there's a bunch of creatures in Chimney Canopy that are kind of annoying, and there's like a handful of creatures here and there later in the run. But they're like infrequent enough where you can't expect to pretty much ignore all of them. Because I actually did a practice run for Revisit Story Percent with a mod that disables creatures. So there were no creatures, and I ended up getting a better time when I did a run for real where there were creatures. If I were to do a run with no creatures for Saint, I'd probably save like a ton of time compared to a normal run. Simply tasks. It's cool to think of what a task could be like for this game, but I feel like creatures make that kind of impossible. Unless you just disable creatures entirely and just focus on the movement. Unless there's also some crazy RNG manipulation you could do. I don't know if that's a thing for Rain World. Troll Lizard check? Not here. I mean, I did ascend them, right? So they shouldn't be here. Tasks don't work. I have seen one task where they didn't jump. Was it a Pebbles percent run? I forget, but they made it to Pebbles without jumping at all, and they use like Wiggle Flight because you can do that in a task. I have I like don't know anything about tasking, so even if the tools were there, I probably wouldn't know how to use them. But for some characters like Saint and Reveal It, I would love to see a task just because of how high the skill ceiling is with their movement. Okay, I always do this at some point. Troll Lizard. There they are. Okay, I can't run past them and Troll Lizard trolling as usual. I don't usually die to them, but they usually slow me down, hence Troll Lizard. End of story task. Aren't creatures like a huge problem for end of? I'm just saying that, you know, if creatures are a big part of the run, then removing creatures would kind of be removing part of the run. Like Artificer without creatures, for example, it's very different. That was very good. Like a no creatures run with Artificer is like a completely different category. You don't need to carry a scavenger with you. Actually, that kind of mess up karma gates. Oh, come on. You can see I was like a pixel away from grabbing onto that. Right, you would also want some for food. Is it not much food for in? Oh, right, they need... I remember they have a crazy high food requirement. Right, I can see how that'd be a problem. Did a pipe boost there. Or a tunnel boost? I think you said monk damage, and I thought, oh, they're just like monk for some reason. So they must not need that much food, but they require like more food than Spearmaster, right? Or maybe the same amounts, but like not any as storage. This is like a 4 out of 5 run. It's not bad, but it could be a lot better. 12 food. Yeah, that is more than Spearmaster. I've never done it like that before. Just in case. I feel like this is too quiet. Like, where's all the creatures? There they are. Just one. Okay, there's the blue lizard. Kind of being in the worst spot possible. Yep, you see me, right? I could try to ascend him, but I don't know if he would start moving. Okay. And now the spitter spider is woken up. Now they're fighting. The second troll lizard. There are in fact 2 of them. There's always lantern mites in the exact same formation in this room. At least it looks like the same formation. To like come in and mess everything up. How much does spears spin around when you throw them at Saint? Not throwing it very fast, but still putting a ton of energy into the spin. Ow. Don't do that. This room looks really cool, but it's really annoying to navigate. Also, I find it funny that a lot of Pebbles rooms in Silent Construct are all like twisted and like rotated in random directions. Especially like higher up in the region where like it's obvious where that the whole thing is like split in half. But for Moon, after Moon's collapse, most of the rooms are still like perfectly aligned and level. I guess you could say that like Pebbles structure like fell apart in pieces, where Moon like kind of like the whole thing fell down at once, and maybe it stayed like mostly intact. It's just that the support structures kind of got broken. Okay, don't die to the jellyfish. Being safe. You never know with these jellyfish. I have a lot more meter than usual. Just gonna use it. This should be enough. Ooh. Hello, large creature. It would have been enough without that guy. Well, it still was anyway. Actually, not a good thing that I did a pounce there. Kind of limits your speed. You know, I should probably do that more often in low gravity. Slow my, like, prevent myself from flying into the ceiling. I always forget. Joey tries to dodge. Am I ahead of the previous run? I thought I was like ahead by 50 seconds then, and now it's a minute. Or am I remembering wrong? Sometimes I think it's a good idea to... Okay. I don't know why he was already down there. Like, yeah, if they came down from the sky. But, like, I just came out of the shelter. So they shouldn't have had enough time to get there. Goodness. But one Mirror's Vulture there means that no Mirror's Vultures will show up in Rubicon, right? It needs to balance out. That's how it works, right? Hey, Jetfish. Guess I could try this out. Maybe it's faster, maybe it's slower. I do want to leave him behind there, because then I can't get in the way of the snails. Jetfish is very good at popping snails early. Just because of how how much they move around. Centipede? No centipede. Definitely be a centipede at some point. There they are. As foretold by the prophecy. Again. I don't remember when I said that last. Or for what specifically? That was terrifying. I'll take that fruit. Goodness. Luckily, I think he was like halfway stuck in the tunnel still, so he can't get the other side of them to me. This is awful. If I send that guy, he'll just like block my way. Do you want to get a move on? Thank you. I think the centipede is too small to be a problem. I kind of don't want to risk it at all. Okay, I was right. Drop a check, by the way. I don't see them yet. Yeah, I don't see them at all. It's kind of even scarier. Also, I don't like the spiders down there. I can activate my ability mid-tunnel if I need to. It's just a small spider anyway. Also, goodbye, lantern. If you heard something up there, time to go up there instead of down here. I think there's a higher chance of these spiders attacking without the lantern. That's a dangerous variant of spider, unlike the other kind. Okay, I think I threw a fruit into that tunnel and that's why I got stuck for a second. I hear a centipede. Are they in the right spot or the wrong spot? They're in the right spot. Why did I land? Okay, that's a mole lizard carrying a centipede, so not a problem. Goodness. I think this is closer to what happened in the previous run these splits are from. A lot of happening in this area. Slowly previous to the time loss. There we go, we're moving now. I think this is going to be slower, but we're still mostly ahead. Of course, for whatever reason, it takes forever to actually enter Rubicon. Yeah, we're a bit behind, but we're here again. Or anything can happen. Red lizard. I don't see them yet, so actually don't see anything. There they are. Guess I will keep going. That sucks. I just missed the ability, but that might, you know, that might still not be too bad. I like to see the red lizard earlier than that. That's just fire power. Okay, now I'm definitely not going to make it. That's three darts. Yep, still waiting. Surprised the red lizard didn't come in here to eat me. You're not a red lizard. I'm going to the pipe in the wrong one. Very glad that you decided to show up. You know, at this point, I'm just going to have to take every single risk possible. Just run forward. That's a great position to go to. Even better. I've never seen that happen before. I think he barely reached. Did he die to a Miros vulture? You're doing this better. Oh. It's actually kind of bad. The dude flies mad. I'm out of charge. As long as they don't see me again, I think I'll be fine. Although red lizard. Goodness, if I accidentally grapple onto this, I'd die instantly. Well, they're pretty hard to run away from. There's always one in here. There's one in here too. Don't accidentally grapple there. Okay, I messed up. Sorry, that's a bit annoying. Trying to conserve meter so I can actually make that. Really? Okay, well, thank you for doing that. But so taunting me, they're like, you could have finished by now if you didn't die earlier. I have a feeling this isn't it.